Hello, this is Seth. He is a beautiful 7-month-old Malinois that we have ended up with by accident through no fault of his own, and he is now currently with us for retraining and rehoming. Seth came about because we received a message through our business page asking if we would be able to help rehome this dog or if we would like to have him. And through a little bit of further investigation, it turned out that he had actually been dumped in Blagdon. The lady's house where he'd been dumped, he'd been tied up to the gate with a note saying that he needs to get a new home. And that lady's daughter then took him home and had him for 9 days at her house, hoping that she would be able to keep him, but was struggling in doing so. So she messaged in, and then I thought, rather than having messages back and forth, it would be easier just to go and see this dog. It sounded from her description like he wasn't going to be any good for any kind of service dog, like police or military or prison service. But nevertheless, he was an absolutely beautifully natured young dog that obviously hadn't been exposed to anything, and was having a really hard time at life. So I visited him. I met him in a really dark hallway, which wasn't ideal. Called him out into a bit of a lighter area, and he was clearly super appeasing and very worried by me. But there wasn't, I didn't get an instant gut feeling that this dog was going to bite me, which is great. I then went into the flat with the lady, and she gave me some more kind of history on what she'd seen in the last 9 days with him. And we decided that the best thing to do was to take him down to Beaconsfield Vets in Weston to get him microchip scanned, because that hadn't already been done. So off we go. We bundled him in the back of the car and took a little bit of a risk by just picking him up and shoving him in one of the cages, basically, because that's what we had to do. He wasn't keen to get in the van at all, so he needed a little bit of help just to be shown what he needed to do to get in. And anyway, he hopped in the end, and we gave him a couple of treats in there and then drove him down to the vets. Turned up at the vets, told them that he'd been picked up stray. They microchip scanned him and were insistent that they were then going to keep him. Which kind of worked out in the best for the dog anyway, because we knew that they would directly contact the council kennels, and that he would then go into council kennels and be rehomed from there. Following that, we heard back from the council kennels, who said that actually he wouldn't be rehomed because of his breed. He would be put to sleep. And did I want the opportunity to take him and try and start again with him? So as you can probably work out, the answer was yes. I don't normally do it, but I do have 3 kennels at home, and I've usually always got space for an extra dog. So I shot down there, pulled him out of kennels, popped him in the van, and off we went. We did a little bypass past my house quickly, where I let him off in the field for 10 minutes, and he went absolutely mental. And then he had to sit in the van with me for a couple of hours while I got some stuff done. And then he came back to the dog training centre again, where we met Kit, who is going to help me out with the fostering process. And he had another little run around. He ate a load of food, and we fitted him up with a new collar and harness and stuff so that he wasn't able to escape from the equipment that he was previously left in. So if we ever do things like this with dogs and we retrain and rehome, then I like to always track the progress and create training plans and record what I've done. And I thought this time actually it might be useful to publicise that and to show you guys the way in and out of our decision-making process, and why we decide to do what we do, and how we make assumptions on what this dog's going to be like and where we go with his training. So hence me sat at my kitchen table now, having just put him into a kennel, and I'm watching on the camera, hoping he settles, and I'm documenting it for you. So here you go. This is his first little run around the field. That time this morning when we had 10 minutes, and it was like all of a sudden there was finally a little personality in that scared little dog, and I was so pleased to see that. So that's the end of day 1. We finished off after a little run around and meeting with Kit, with just hanging out at the back of the van and eating some sausages there, because this was going to need to very quickly become a familiar place with him. In terms of getting him in and out of the van at the moment while he's nervous, I just picked him up without asking him to come towards me or anything. I just shoved some sausages in his face and gently picked him up and placed him in the van, because at the moment, if we try to lure him in, I think we're going to create more of a problem than we've already got. And understandably so, he doesn't have a lot of trust in us. So for the time being, we're just going to make that a thing that happens. And then it's probably going to be one of the first things that we work on, is training him to jump in the van on his own, of his own accord, and get him rewarded for doing so. So he's had a kennel set it up at home, and he's on a big hay bed. He has got a heat tube in there, but initially I'm putting him down on hay because I want to see how he behaves in the kennel. He's in a beautifully nice insulated kennel, so he should be fine, and he's also wearing a coat in there now, so he should be nice and cozy. As you can see in the video, he's very, very thin. The videos don't really do it justice. I mean, I like my dogs relatively skinny, but this dog is fairly well emaciated. So we have given him a decent amount of food today. He's had a Keela kibble, and he's had some raw, and he's had some sausages, and he did actually manage to eat a little bit of a Kong in the back of the van. So that's good. So the next few days, we're going to be prioritising things like that, getting hold of some food for him, and getting him eating and trusting us, and just starting to learn that he's been given the opportunity to start again, really. So that's day one. It's not hugely interesting. I'm going to stick my GoPro on charge, and I'm going to try and video log everything that we do with him. If you guys have got any questions, then let me know. Probably the easiest way to do that is through social media, through the Eye to Eye Dogs page. And I think that's it. So my plan for tomorrow will be to get up pretty early and get him out of the kennel and run him first thing. Get some food down him, hopefully. He's probably going to have a Kong to go to bed with overnight tonight. I'm not expecting him to finish it completely, but hopefully he'll give it a little go. And we'll just have a nice, easy day. We'll get hold of some more food for him because we're a bit short on that. And we'll just chill out with him. He's going to need a good week or so to adjust and realise that he's staying here. And then following on from that, he's going to need probably several months of adjustment thereon after to really acclimatise. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the first instalment of Little Man's Day, and we'll put some more videos together, and hopefully you guys can follow us on with all his progress.